Tell me where you are tuning in from. Got something cool I want to share with all of you guys. Okay, so as you come on in here, hit the like button, the thumbs up button, and definitely tell me where you are tuning in from. Okay, let's see. So I want to talk about the Akashic Records tonight. And I actually want to read something to you guys. Oops, hang on one sec. I want to read something to you guys that I find profoundly accurate. It's not often I read someone else's stuff and deem it as accurate, but I definitely deem this as accurate. So, the article, which is in a pretty big publication, is called Three Zodiac Signs with the Strongest Connection to the Akashic Records. And the woman that wrote this article is a master astrologist, like celebrities hire her. It says in spiritual philosophies, the Akashic Records are said to be an energetic record of past, present, and future. It is a vast mental library of all that has ever been and all that ever will be. Every lifetime, every soul, all the universal thoughts and emotions that have ever occurred in human consciousness. Imagine a figurative, invisible, energetic supercomputer that stores all this information. This is the Akashic Records. And it is said to help you gain insight into your current soul's path, giving you wisdom about your past lives, ancestral wounds, karmic debts, and future events. Your personal Akashic Records includes all your incarnations throughout your own soul's journey. And you can often access it through deep meditation, where you ask questions about your specific your specific journey, or using an intuitive reader who specializes in reading your specific record. Here are three zodiac signs with the strongest connection to access the Akashic Records. Okay. I'm going to get into why this is so profound in a second, but the first sign is Cancer. So she specifies in this article that only these sun signs have true access to the Akashic Records. And this is one of the reasons why I utilize the Akashic Records in my readings and for my holistic wellness coaching clients, because I'm a Pisces. And of course, she says Pisces. So, Cancer, as one of the signs who has the most powerful access to vast esoteric knowledge about the spiritual realm, it's no wonder you are inherently connected to the Akashic Records. Remember, these are only sun signs. I'm going to give you the three signs at the end, but this is the first one. Your keen psychic intuition and ability to communicate with higher spiritual realms. You often gain flashes of insight and meditation that inform you of the nature of your past lives and future events. You have a direct channel to the divine, which also gives you the laser focused wisdom you need at just the right moment to prevent harm from happening to you or those you love. Don't ignore those harborings of danger. You are told what could happen in the future, giving you the opportunity to reverse timelines and intervene. You are an earth angel protecting not just yourself, but others from potential danger. With the divine guidance you access. Okay, the second one, this was shocking to me. Sagittarius. I'm sorry to all my Saggies. I just don't see you guys as super spiritual at all. It's actually one of the least, I see you as go-getters and kind of loose with your energy, but I don't see you as spiritual. But this is the second sign she wrote about. And this is after decades of study. And this is only the sun sign in Sagittarius. As one of the most intellectual zodiacs, I totally disagree with that as well, but I'm just going to keep reading. You are always on the search for truth, and your thirst for knowledge, I agree with that, gives you a strong connection to the Akashic records. That lifts your mind and spirits and helps you navigate life with more ease and discernment with what you learn. Through your strong connection to your soul's vast journey, you are reminded of who you truly are behind the human realm and how powerful you are. You have the capacity to create entirely new realities and worlds with your wisdom gained from infinite lifetimes. The problems with Sagittarius is they will fight people on the truth to a fault. So if a Sagittarius thinks someone's being inauthentic, they'll cause problems for them. Okay. Last but certainly not least, Pisces. Ruled by the mystical Neptune, you are granted a seemingly supernatural ability to heal yourself and others. This is Pisces. Your access to the Akashic records gives you the spiritual insight needed to raise the vibration of this planet. It also pushes you to be more careful about people who are plotting behind your back. Yeah, no shit. The atrocities that will befall humility and those who cross you will often shock even you. Whispers about those who wish you harm can also be shocking, but it always works out in your favor. So you can create a more abundant reality that supports you and others. Your premonitions allow you to identify wolves in sheep's clothing and warn you with everybody's waking up and messaging me, my team. Your premonitions allow you to identify wolves in sheep's clothing and warn you with signs of any doom to come so you can be prepared with magical protection. Or ask for help from your ancestors, spirit guides, and guardian angels. At the same time, your access to the Akashic records allow you to manifest fruitfully, giving you the lucky numbers to win the metaphorical lottery, whatever that may be in your life, circumstances, releasing karmic debts, and purging past life wounds so you can flow easily through life and into abundance. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how I first accessed my Akashic records. And it's going to be it's going to strike many of you as odd. And then I'm going to tell you at the second time as an adult. So the first time was when my dad passed away in 1985. And I had snuck out with some girlfriends. Anyway, my girlfriend Amy was giving me a boost back up to my bedroom, and my dad appeared on a basketball court next to our house. And I've told this story to you guys several times. And he said, "Andi, what are you doing?" My family calls me Andi or honey baby. And it was him. Baseball jacket, shiny blue. He disappeared as he walked away, and we couldn't see him even in the street lights. My friends still remember this to the day. And after that, the next day, there was a sewer out in front of our house. And I sat on this sewer, and it's going to sound so silly. I had taken a bunch of wire hangers, and I was trying to get a baseball. He had been at my mom's house, I don't know, a few months prior, and he was throwing a baseball up in the air. And my dad was so good at baseball, he could have went pro. He coached kids in baseball. If he threw a baseball up in the air, it would disappear for like 5 minutes. I'm not exaggerating, and then fall out of the sky. Well, a baseball had went down the sewer. And so through the holes of the sewer top, I had linked all of these. I had this master plan to somehow find this baseball months later that had went down the sewer because my dad had touched it and I wanted it. And I realized I couldn't get it. I'm getting so emotional. I had linked, I think, like 12 hangers together. I had created I had like a cup on the bottom of the container. I had Elmer's glue all around the cup. I was like trying like 5 different ways to get this ball. And the truth is, the ball wasn't even down there anymore. I was just so emotionally trying to deal with my dad's passing that I wanted something tangible of his. Well, I sat there and I had a vision of me with him, not in that lifetime, but in a past lifetime. And he told me during that vision that I will bring the ball to you at the perfect time. And so I was like, okay. So I left the sewer, blah, blah, blah. Years later, when I was living in Las Vegas, before I was about to undergo a move to this house, I, in a meditation, prayed to my dad for a sign, and I found a baseball in my front yard. I shared it on social media. I was kind of freaking out about it, and I knew it was from him, that he was steering me in the right direction, because I had found this house and I was like, okay, why am I moving to the middle of nowhere? Why am I doing this? And it was the sign I needed from my dad that it would be kind of a safe place to be while the world went through this transitional storm. Okay. Another time that I tapped into my Akashic records was when I was going through a horrible breakup and I was having trouble letting go. And this was a 5-year relationship. And I really was in love with the guy. He was a lot older than me, like 13 years older than me. He kind of wasn't into me as much as I was. Like, I would have done anything for him. I would have like moved hell and high water to be with him. And he just wasn't, he didn't really see me. At least I didn't think he saw me at the time. I later found out he did see me for who I was. But at the time, he just wasn't honoring me. And I think he was trying to push me away because he was going through so many things himself, legal battles, everything. Well, anyway, I needed to let him go. I had a lot of other people trying to court me and date me, and it had been over a year and a half, and I was still just in a state of depression. I'd started this channel. This was in 2017 or 2018, and I just really needed to let him go. And, I'm a Pisces. We're super loyal. We'll go like 3, 5 years without being intimate with anyone else. And so I drove out in front of the ocean with a notebook and a piece of paper. And I prayed to my ancestors and to my dad and to Jesus that they would give me the strength to let him go, and that they would also give me the funds to let him go, because I was broke as shit. And okay, Walter, 1 comment's enough, okay? Thank you and welcome, but 1 comment's enough. 1 or 2, 3 commenting through the whole thing. I'll just hide the chat if you feel the need to comment that much. I'll hide it from me for now, so you can comment all you want. Feel free. It's a place to express. So anyway, it just throws me off seeing it pop up. So I sat in front of the ocean with my notebook and I wrote down what was happening. And I had this idea. I didn't want to litter, but I had this idea I'm not going to share what I did, but I did it. And literally, I saw my Akashic records from the past, like 18,000 years. Like, I saw me in the 1800s. I saw me in the 1900s. I saw me before I was born, when my mom was carrying me in her belly. I saw me in Hawaii in my mom's belly when she was standing in the middle of the water on a rock, And I didn't even know that at the time. And then I saw a picture of her later in Hawaii on a rock. One of my sisters in Ohio had it. And I was like, this is freaking me out. Like, and she was pregnant with me. So I was seeing myself throughout history, and I was being led into the Akashic record vault, and there was like this blue light that came out and surrounded my records where my records were, but the rest of the records were like kind of dull and gray, and the mine were lit up like, here are yours. And I remember asking to see the person I was involved with. I asked to see their Akashic records. And there were like these guardians of the Akashic records debating whether or not to share those with me. It was the strangest thing. And then I remember hearing Pisces. Okay, she's a Pisces, you can share it. And it's widely known that Pisces have access to the Akashic records, but we have to do it in honor, right? Someone has to come to us and ask us to tap into their Akashic records. We can't just do it at will to harm someone or something like that, because that's out of integrity and it always backfires. So anyway, I remember doing the Akashic records work I needed, and literally the next day, I was done. I was done. And I remember him calling, like he never called me after we had broke up. I was always the one calling him, all needy Nelly, all like just out of character, just sending him text messages longer than I was tall. Stopped doing it completely. And like 2 months later, he reached out to me. 3 months later, he reached out to me. And I just was not interested anymore from that point on. I had tapped into my Akashic records. I had healed myself. And so I had to go back to the ocean a few weeks later, because I actually had turned the table so much that he had a vested interest in me all of a sudden again. And I had to make it even to where we both were parting ways under a really positive light. And so that's what I did. So when I realized I had a gift of tapping into other people's Akashic records is when I was doing readings, and people would be telling me about their issues, and I was associating their issues with past lives and past life trauma. Not childhood trauma from this life, but actual past life trauma. So when we think about the Akashic records, go back and listen to the beginning of this video and really ask yourself, are these things you're dealing with, are they from this lifetime or are they from another lifetime? A lot of these things that you deal with, and I definitely encourage you to listen to this from the very beginning, where I talk about Cancer, Sagittarius, and Pisces having access to the Akashic records. Remember, that's only sun signs. A lot of these things we deal with, these strongholds, come from our past lives. And I'm going to give you an example. I never have wanted children. Never. It's never been a thing with me. I never wanted to go through the pain. I never wanted to get stretch marks. I never wanted my body to be stretched like that. I don't want to carry a baby for 9 months. I don't want to have a vaginal birth. I think it would completely morph down there, and I just don't want it. It kind of grosses me out. And I always wondered why. Like, why? Everybody else had like baby fever, and I was like, I want a career. I want to write books. I want to do this. I want to go on the news. I want to have my own show. And I realized by going into my Akashic records that I had had babies taken away from me and lost children in past lives. And so children represented a real fear for me in this lifetime. A fear, like I did not want them because I did not want to lose them. And so that was profound. And I had found that on my own, but also went to a past life regressionist to kind of hone in on that. So there's certain ways of being that we have that are directly correlated to our past lives. Okay. So definitely those of you who just joined, go back to the very beginning and listen to this from the beginning. I encourage you to do so. I talk about the 3 signs that have access to the Akashic records, my 2 times of connecting with the Akashic records for myself before I started this journey in spirituality, and how I help clients connect and heal through the Akashic records. So, I gave the example of not wanting to have children and why that had to do with the past life. I'll give you another example. Say if you are extremely envious of someone, right? Say there's a woman and she's like 10 years your senior, and you just want to troll everything she does and nitpick her, and you just think she's phony and you just can't stand her, but she's really beautiful and really intelligent and really, that could be because you had a past life with that person that is unhealed. It could have been your kid in a past life, or vice versa. You could have been theirs. And maybe you formed maybe an unhealthy obsession with watching this person online, or trying to be like this person, or emulating this person, or taking notes even on the person. That needs to be healed through past life regression. Okay? It's unhealthy when we form unhealthy obsessions with other people. That's usually always past life related, or you're just a sociopath or a psychopath. So, you really want to look into things like that. I'll give you another example. Say you meet someone and they are fabulous. Say they are amazing. They're your dream partner, right? Say you're a woman and let's go with the men. Say you're a man and you have met the woman of your dreams. She is just hourglass figure, just mamacita to the full degree, like gorgeous body, gorgeous breasts, gorgeous thin waistline, gorgeous feet, gorgeous smile, big, beautiful eyes, long, luscious hair, and it's hers. And she's just gorgeous. But you can't get past like one date with her. Something just steers you away. You can't even put your finger on it. She's the perfect woman. She's everything you asked for. You called her in, but you don't want to see her again. Could be past life related. Same thing for you ladies. Say you're constantly feeling like someone's cheating on you. Now, it could be your intuition. I usually tell my clients to trust their intuition. Say you constantly feel like someone wants to go elsewhere, but you have no proof of it. And this goes on for like years while you're with someone. Say you're even married and you constantly are accusing your partner of something. It could be from a past life. This is why past life regression, and I'm not just talking about the simple kind where they hypnotize you. That didn't work for me. I went through 2 past life regression courses. No one can hypnotize me. And I've had so many clients. I just had a client the other day who's trying to cut a female off. And he's like, I've been hypnotized 5 times. I can't do it. That type of past life regression, I find, doesn't work for my clients. What I do is herbal. It's also therapeutic. It uses sound. Like I use a ton of different modalities. It's very unique. And I find that it works, and it works because there's a reminder component. There's some, taste, smell, etc. I give my clients things to remind them of what we've been working on. But that's not even the only reason. That's a very small part of the equation. So what you need to understand is that your quirks and these idiosyncrasies and these things that are problemsome for you in this lifetime are almost always past life related, always. That's why it's so vitally important. Okay, say you're a guy and you just cannot stop looking at your ex. You're married, you got kids, and you're obsessed. you're literally obsessed. Like your wife's caught it on your computer and every time everybody's asleep in the house, you check out your ex's social media. I mean, you binge watch the person's videos, you try to find out what they're interested in. Or, you just can't get your ex, maybe they don't have a social media following and you just can't get them out of your mind and they're from your past or what have you. A lot of times it's a past life relationship. Definitely check your Saturn placement in Western and in Vedic. That's always past life karma, in my opinion. It has other meanings too, but I think it's past life karma often. You want to really make sure if you've developed any kind of obsession, jealousy, envy, or hatred towards anyone. If it's jealousy and envy, it could be that they're shining their light and you're not, but it goes beyond that. There's almost always a past life trigger there. And until we learn to clear out these past life triggers, we simply won't heal. There is a reason, folks, that when I was, I'm still going through it. These people will always have it out for me. But when I was being trolled heavily by a woman I've never met on social media, and I mean trolled heavily, like almost psychopathic trolled, like I would post a photo of like me sunning my buns in the sun. And like a week later, like I'd share it in my stories, and a week later she would like have it as a post. She's crazy. And people would be like, didn't you just share this in your stories? That woman is whack. Like crazy, like obsessed. I'm sure there's some type of karmic past life situation. I've not delved there, but I'm almost sure of it. Whenever someone's obsessed with you to that degree, there's almost always a karmic component, but always a past life component as well. Or someone's just crazy. You have to really, figure it out for yourself. I would definitely, if I were you, I mean, you can always book a session with me. Links are in the description box of all of my videos. But I would definitely work on, when you go into your meditation, notice what smells come up for you. Notice what sounds come up for you. Notice what thoughts come into your heart space. And if they come into your heart space or just in your mind, like, do they evoke emotions? Notice if any songs appear, right? You might hear a song from the 1930s, right? And you were born in 2000. And you're like, where have I heard that song before? It could be from a past life. I've had that happen to me. Where I'll hear a song and I'll recognize it, but it's from another lifetime. And it'll be like a really old song. So, I just wanted to share this with you about the Akashic Records. It's definitely not a toy to play with. You never, ever, ever want to try to tap into someone else's Akashic Records unless you want bitch slapped by the universe. You do not do that. You always want to ask for permission. With my clients, I always get their permission. I literally have a little waiver they sign. Like, I give Andrea Cox, and I mean, it's kind of a running joke, but it's not, because I believe in that karmic contract, them signing that, giving me permission to tap into their Akashic records. And utilize this too with where you're living. If you're living in a place that's absolutely stunning, everybody around you is very kind, right? But you just cannot find peace in that place. It could be that, you could have been picking, I don't want to say that because that won't be politically correct, but you could have been harvested there in a previous lifetime. I'll just leave it at that, right? I don't want to say too much. Someone could have had control over you in a previous lifetime in that area. Do the research of the area. Find out, was there slavery there? Was there condemnation? Was there control? Was there communism there? And 100 years ago or 200 years ago, like really do your research on these areas as well. Vitally important. I kept smelling something around here, and it's not like a real known scent. And it would just come and it would go. And I did the old research of the place and found out why. So you have to really understand that, we're just borrowing these bodies while we're here in this life, these meat suits, so to speak. We're not going to be here forever. And usually we come back, unless you're a Pisces, it's your last lifetime here. All right.